Get a load of the amount of fry in the Neolamprologus leleupi aquarium. Speaking of beautiful cichlids from Lake Tanganyikan, these are the guys that are next door to them. My black Altolamprologus calvus. G'day guys, Jason here. Welcome back to my fish room. So in this week's video, we're going to be doing my August 2022 fish room update tour. I filmed this video a little bit differently to how I normally film my update tours, and that is I've used my mobile phone camera to go around the fish room and highlight some of the interesting things that have happened over the past month for you guys. So it's a bit of more of a moving around the fish room vlog style rather than just being stationary on the tripod with my DSLR. So I hope you enjoy this little bit of a different tour this month. Anyway guys, let's get into this week's video. So I've just walked into the fish room and get a load of the amount of fry in the Neolamprologus leleupi aquarium. 2 spawns in there. You can tell on camera, even from this distance, the different spawns. 2 different sizes of fry. And you can see the female on the left there. The male's just gone behind the rock on the right. So I'm trying not to get too close to the aquarium so I don't scare the fry, because they'll basically just shoot down to the sandbed and hide underneath the rocks. Now, this is the most amount of fry I've had in this tank ever. The female has successfully raised 2 lots of spawns in the one aquarium for the very, very first time. And I've owned this pair for about 1.5 years now. And I've had many spawns from this pair, but she's never been able to raise 2 spawns in the same tank, because the older generation of fry eat the newer fry. She hasn't been able to identify her older fry as a threat to the younger fry, and subsequently doesn't shepherd them away from the newer spawn. But her instincts have finally kicked in, and she's learnt how to do that. And I am so happy with this pair. So proud of them. They've done so well, and done really well for me, obviously. So it's just such a great sight to see so many fry in the one aquarium from these beautiful fish. These beautiful cichlids from Lake Tanganyikan. Speaking of beautiful cichlids from Lake Tanganyikan, these are the guys that are next door to them. My black Altolamprologus calvus. You see one in the middle of the tank there, flaring their fins. That is my breeding female. And that is her male next to her. That large fish on the right there is the male. And I bought that male at the same time as I bought that small fish you can see at the back there. It was sold as a pair, but he decided to spawn with one of the females I already had. So I already had 2 black calvus in my fish room, and I believe they're both females, and the one in the middle there is one of my original 2. I've still got the other one, it's in this tank. And she spawns with this male. She's pretty much within 2 months of buying this male, I had a spawn. And since purchasing 2 new calvus, the male on the right there and the little one on the left, I've had 3 spawns from these guys. So beautiful cichlid from Lake Tanganyikan. They are a predator. They're fry-eating machines. They've evolved to attack fry, ambush fry between tight crevices in the rocks, in the lake, and they basically hunt fry down. So you can see the algae on the glass. It's a bit unsightly. I haven't got any bristlenose catfish in this aquarium. I think the bristlenose catfish will be fine though. I just haven't put any in here. They can probably see some of the fry, some of the leleupi fry, but there is a lot of algae on their tank as well. And there's 2 reasons for that. One, there's the male. You can see the baby fish getting out of his way. He's the boss. He doesn't attack him. He's a great father. He's never attacked his fry. Really will defend them well. And like I say with all my videos where I film in my mobile phone camera, he's not that orange. I wish he was, but he's not that orange. He is a beautiful colour, but nowhere near as orange as he appears in this footage. And there are 2 reasons why I don't have bristlenose catfish in this aquarium. And you can probably guess what the first one is, and that is aggression. the male and the female leleupi would viciously attack the bristlenose catfish, and that would be cruel, just for the purpose of having the tank look clean. I'm not going to, do that to any bristlenose catfish, no matter what their size is. There's potential for fin nipping, even with big bristlenose catfish, and that's just an unnecessary thing. And it will also stress out the leleupi because they'll feel like they'd have to defend that fish away from their spawns. Secondly, the algae in this aquarium is fantastic food for the fry. They are always picking at it on the sides of the glass. You can see leleupi there on the left, picking at the algae, and they're feeding off the algae itself as well as any potential microorganisms living within it. So the female hiding behind the cave there, that's where she raised her second spawn. Normally she spawns at the front of the aquarium under this rock here, and if you saw a previous video, which I'll link to in the description here, you would see where she spawned. Just right underneath that rock there was the first spawn. So the larger fry you see in this aquarium were born underneath that rock, and the smaller fry you see in this video were born right where she is hiding at the moment. And it's the first time she spawned there, and this is the first time she's been able to successfully raise 2 batches of fry in the one aquarium. So maybe moving the spawning location to the back of the tank help protect those fry from the older generation. Yeah, very happy with this. And the fry do become quite tame very quickly. The larger fry you see here are just over 40 days old, so just over a month old. And the younger fry, this is really the first day I've seen this many out in the open for free swimming. So they're probably about 7 or 8 days old, maybe 9 days old. So there is quite a difference in the age of these fry. But like I said, the fry do become pretty tame towards you very quickly. So these fry here, the older ones, you can see I'm putting my finger near them. They're not too scared of it. They'll come up to the front of the tank when they see me already a month in. So having them at the front of the tank, feeding at the front of the tank, with the female spawning at the back of the tank, potentially save the newer batch of fry from predation from the older fry. Maybe because the fry have become used to me and she spawned at the back of the tank this time, with the fry at the front of the aquarium all the time because they know they're going to get fed at the front of the tank. It's being able to offer her an opportunity to raise that second batch in here with the older fry, and it's the first time it's been a success. So maybe that's played a part in it. One, they're tame, they become tame and become used to you. The older generation becomes used to you within a month. And the second being that she spawned at the back of the tank for that second generation of fry. But yeah, there you go. Heaps and heaps of Neolamprologus leleupi fry in here. And I couldn't be happier. It's fantastic. It's probably at least 400 fry in this tank. I'm not sure, but it's an estimation. Some of their spawns have been over 200 before. Amazing stuff. Very happy with that pair. Love them to death. Pretty much my favourite fish in the fish room, along with my white and black Altolamprologus calvus. So this is the first time I took the female away from the male with the shell. So I took the female out with the shell and the fry and put them in a different tank. It's the very first time I've ever done that. And I'm reintroducing her right now to the male. The shell was in here for a number of days before I popped her back in. And I've just popped her back in now, and you can see how the male is reacting with the female being reintroduced to him. Hoping he doesn't hurt her at all. She's gone straight to that shell. So that's the shell I took out with the fry and her, and reintroduced a number of days later. And she's been away from this male for about 5 days. So she's been with her fry for a number of days in a smaller tank, and it looks like, touch wood, this is going okay. My instinct is to go back to that shell because I guess she thinks there's still fry in that shell. Her parental instincts are still strong, which is good to see, and it's good to see that the male isn't attacking her. So I literally just put her in a few seconds before I started filming, so you're really seeing his reaction for the first time. I am as well. This is like the 13th time or 12th time I think I've spawned from this breeding pair, but it's the first time I ever took her away for a number of days from the male. So normally I catch all the fry out of the tank individually. It takes me a number of days to do that, here and there, as I see the fry exit the shell. And I did that because I didn't want to break the bond between this pair. But I've spawned these guys a number of times now. As I said, it's probably the 12th or even 13th time I've spawned off this breeding pair. And I thought it was time to give that a try, just to see how it goes, because it's a hell of a lot easier just moving the shell out with the female in it and all the fry. And touch wood, seems to have worked, so that might be the way moving forward. I just didn't like doing that because I didn't want to break their bond. It was the risk that I took with this occasion, but it seems to have paid off. Calvus are pretty peaceful cichlids, even though they look pretty menacing. They are fry-eating machines, like I said earlier, but they are fairly peaceful, especially compared to other cichlids. They definitely aren't aggressive. So if you want some peaceful cichlids, I really recommend you give calvus a try. They do require stable water parameters and a little bit of experience in keeping Tanganyikan cichlids before you give these guys a try. But beautiful fish. These are my white Altolamprologus calvus breeding pair. Bought them as a pair a few years ago, not as a breeding pair, and I was lucky enough to spawn them within 3 months, I think, of purchasing them. Beautiful fish, and fantastic for me in this fish room. Got heaps of their fry. So these tanks are full of their fry, and obviously you can't see because of the reflection. You can see some fry there. Probably about 100 in that tank. And let's see if we can see the guys in here. Yeah, you can see them at the back there. I don't turn the lights on their tanks because I believe the light can scare them, especially at such a young age. So this is the brand new spawn that's in here, and I've got more of their fry over here. So these guys do have light on them because they're large enough now to not be scared of the light turning on. So there's heaps in here as well, but most of their fry are in this 5-footer. All the calvus you see in this tank come from that breeding pair, and there are some calvus in here that are over 2 years old. Obviously the larger ones. They're pushing 7 or 8 centimeters, some of the larger ones. Beautiful, beautiful fish. All came from that breeding pair. It's from those 2 fish. And they're doing right. They're doing alright. Looking good. Once they're in that shell to protect the fry, which unfortunately for them I've had to take off them. Calvus do eventually turn on their fry, so you have to be very careful with them, keep a watchful eye on them. They will turn on their fry, and I've seen my black calvus do that to their fry. There you go, very proud of this pair, love them. So there you have it guys, the August 2022 Fish Room Update Tour. Really hope you enjoyed that video and found it informative. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, comment and consider subscribing to the channel. I really would appreciate it. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap this video up now. Thanks heaps for watching and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.